Why do we have courts, but not always justice is served to the people? Why do we have laws, but still feel injustice is normalized? Why is it that questioning power can be risky, while abusing power often goes unpunished? Because there's a quiet tug of war happening, and most of us were never told where it's being fought. Welcome to the next hearing. Let's return to the idea we were all taught. That's in the constitutional democracy. The law stands above all, even those in power. That no matter your status, your background, your belief, you stand protected under the same constitution. That's the rule of law. Not just a legal principle, but a promise, a quiet act between the citizen and the state. It's what separates democracy from rule by force. But something is changing. What happens when law is still followed, but fairness disappears? What happens when procedure is respected, but people lose protection? That's not rule of law, that's rule by law. Where power doesn't ignore the law, it uses it. Not to serve justice, but to protect itself. Where detention, delays, and denials all wear the mask of legality. Let me share what this looks like on the ground. One is preventive detention. A student is jailed not for what they did, but for what someone in power imagines they might do. Second is UAPA, sedition and chilling dissent. When words are powerful, the system calls them dangerous. When art is truthful, it's labeled disruptive. Third is selective justice. A young protester gets denied bail for 11 months. A politician accused of hate walks free in 24 hours. Fourth is internet shutdowns. Entire regions are silenced for the sake of peace. This is not about isolated incidents. It's about a pattern where legality becomes a curtain and the truth becomes harder to see. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because when people see injustice repeated, they don't always rise up. They slowly stop believing. They begin to ask, if this is legal, maybe it's normal. But legality is not the same as justice, and the silence is not the same as peace. When fear becomes law, freedom becomes memory. So what do? We don't give in to rage. We don't fall into apathy. We build awareness. We ask better questions. We study the patterns. Because the most powerful citizens are not those who shout. They are the ones who see clearly and act with conscience. We look at laws and ask, is this proportionate? Is this fair? Or is this just? We teach ourselves not just legal knowledge, but constitutional intelligence. The real battlefield today isn't just on the streets, it's in the language we accept, the narratives we absorb, and the silences we allow. This isn't just about the courts, it's about consciousness. You don't need to wear a robe to defend liberty. You just need to see where the law is being misused and speak when there's a whisper from others. That's how we win the next hearing. The next time someone says, but it's legal, ask them, is it right or just? If the law punishes the weak and protects the powerful, we owe it to the Constitution to call it out. Because law without justice is just paperwork. And democracy without truth is just theatre. This is the next hearing, a place for thoughtful citizens, conscious lawyers, and ethical dissents. Felt something shift inside you today? Subscribe to the channel. Not because you agree, but because you care. Thank you.